Alright, what is up? I am Geordie Trades. I'm a profitable futures trader for the past 2 years, 80% win rate and over 100k of prop firm payouts. And I'm just a normal guy. I'm not a rich kid, I haven't been given any money, and I've worked a job basically being able to do this for myself, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's just get into the video and I'm just going to show you how I trade. 80% win rate, as I said. I've got loads of payouts recently. You can check my Twitter and you'll see the payouts that I've taken recently. Just got a 40k payout with Apex in January, which was absolutely fantastic, and it was all trading this strategy. So I'm going to show you it and I'm going to explain it, then I'm going to show you some examples. So let's say, for example, this is your market structure. All I do every single day, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just mark out all the major swing lows. Really simple, takes like 5 seconds. I'll just do it with this ray tool like this, and I'll just set alerts at these levels like this. So say, for example, this is a level, I'll just set an alert like this, and then I'll basically wait for these levels to get hit. And then once they do get hit, I'll be looking for some criteria. So I'm going to go through how I trade. The first thing is I'm looking for a sweep. So I call them major sweeps because on the 5 minute there will be pretty significant swing lows. The bigger the swing low, the better in my experience. So basically what I'm looking for is, firstly, I'm waiting for price to come down and sweep a low like this. A major swing low, obvious, and you want the more obvious the better. And also the higher time frame the better. You can take 1 minute trades, 2 minute trades, but I find the 5 minute trades work the absolute best because they've got all of that price action baked into them. So first thing I'm looking for is major sweep like this. The second thing I'm looking for is a bullish reaction. A bullish reaction to the low. And I'm also looking for good momentum. You want to see this hit this low and then go bang back to the upside as quickly as possible. This is what you want to be looking for. If you get a sweep and a really bullish reaction and momentum, you're already going to be in good shape for potentially a reversal, which is what you want to be looking for, obviously. So these are the first three things that I'm looking for. Obviously my alert's been hit and then I'm watching to see this. And then the next thing that I'm looking for is a inverted fair value gap, which you'll usually find in these regions because price will tend to just knife through a level and then hopefully you'll get the knife back to the upside for the V shape. You're looking for next an IFVG or an inverted fair value gap, which I will explain now. So say, for example, this is your inverted fair value gap. A 3 candle pattern V shape is the best version of this. You can see here you've created, with a candle to the downside, another one and another one, you create this gap like this. You can see the gap here in the market, and you want to see with a sweep combined with this. So you get your sweep and then you want to see your V shape with the 3 candle pattern V shape is the best one, the very best, most highest probability. You want to see it come back and close above this level after the sweep. On the 5 minute, these are absolutely broken. They work like 90% of the time that I've found. It's pretty incredible. So we're looking for the inverted fair value gap, and primarily the 3 candle pattern V shapes are the best, the very best ones that you can have. Why is it these take so long to load sometimes? There we go. So you can see, so we've got, let's recap. We've come down, we've got a major sweep, we've got bullish reaction, a nice bullish reaction here, a good candle back to the upside, we've got momentum, and then we close over our inverted fair value gap here, which is just this, with a 3 candle pattern V shape on the 5 minute. This would be a really high probability trade, a really good chance of working. So then what I do is, for my entry model, is I will enter on the inversion. I trade about 30 accounts now. I've got some Apexes, I've got some, what else have I got? I've got MFFUs, I've got Lucids, I've got a few other ones floating around in there. I'm slowly building up all my accounts. But what I do is I copy trade 30 accounts and I risk about $200 per trade. So I will size for about halfway between the low and the gap. So if we come down and close back below the gap like this, I'll know that we're wrong, that I'm wrong, and I'll close the trade for a loss. This happens very rarely, but it does happen sometimes. It's part of trading. No one has a 100% win rate. Obviously, that would be ridiculous. Anyone that tells you that they've got a 100% win rate is definitely lying. But you can get a very high win rate if you wait for optimal setups from liquidity points like this, and that's what I do. That's why I have a really high 80% win rate. So my entry condition is major sweep, bullish reaction. We've got good momentum. We've got an inverted fair value gap here, as you can see. 3 candle pattern V shapes are the best. And then what I'll do is I'll enter here, sized for about $200 if we close back below this low, and then I'll be targeting a 1-for-1 for my first TP. Now I do something a little bit different to most people. I actually scale half at 1R, which is technically negative RR because I'm taking $100 off. But then because of my win rate is so high, and because of the way that this model works, if once we hit 1R, usually if I'm wrong, it'll reverse right back down and reverse back and continue down. So I do want to take a bit of money off the table, but if I'm right, I'll usually end up making $400 or $500 per trade on the remaining half of the trade being in runners. So this is what I do. So I enter the trade here. Let's say we come up and hit my 1R like this. Then I'll scale half and I'll go break even on the rest of the trade. So I'm taking $100 off the table per account, since I'm risking 200 because that's half my position. And then I will go break even on the rest. And very simply, I'll just hold runners for liquidity above like this. And it's really that simple, guys. This is an incredible strategy that's done me absolutely worlds of good in terms of getting my trading consistent and profitable. Like I said, I've taken about 100k worth of payouts over the past year or so. So it's been pretty incredible. So I'm just going to write this down so you can see. So I enter on the inversion. I'm targeting a 1-for-1. Close for a loss. Close back below is a loss. And then scale half at 1R. I'll go break even. And then hold runners for higher liquidity. And that's it. This is it. It's a really in my, why is this so laggy? Let's just make sure this is good. There you go. This is a really effective strategy, and I'm going to show you some examples. So I think the best example I can show you was on Friday. There was a fantastic trade on Friday that people should have probably been taking. Was there actually, I think there was a trade yesterday, but I can't remember if I actually alerted it. I don't think it was good enough. There was technically a trade here, right? You can see we've got ourselves accumulation. We get manipulation down below. I didn't alert this because I didn't think it was good enough. But you can see here the idea, which I'll show you. On the 1 minute, you can see we've got a really obvious market structure accumulation. So as you're expecting, you're looking for a reaction once we sweep. You can see the reason I didn't alert this is because we came up, down, didn't get a reaction to this low. I was actually watching this 1 minute, which could have been a good trade here. You can see we swept and then we could have done this. This would have been a great trade. You can see we've got LRLR above, liquidity above this trend line liquidity, which we did eventually run, but you can see we actually came down and rolled over after the sweep. So I wasn't particularly keen on alerting this just because we didn't get that instantaneous reaction that I like to see. But we did get the manipulation leg, and you can see we did get a close back above. You could have taken this one, as you can see here. If we look, this would have not hit the 1R until we back tested the gap. You can see we never closed back below, so this was not a loss. We came back up. Obviously you could have taken this, taken half off here, held runners for a 3-to-1 or something, and then you could have held a final runner up to here for a 5-to-1. This would have been a great trade, but I didn't alert this because I didn't like that we didn't get this instantaneous reaction, and I figured we might start just doing this and grinding down. You can see it did take a little while to play out, but this obviously did work and ended up being a good trade. I didn't take that personally because I didn't think it was good enough for me and my standards, but you can see that it would have worked, and it does showcase that the strategy can work even when I feel like the trade wasn't super good. There was also another great trade on Friday. I think this was an absolutely amazing trade and really showcases what we're looking for. So you can see we've created a really obvious swing low here, really obvious level of liquidity. We get CPI on Friday, so we pump all the way up here. As you can see, start chopping around, And then going into New York Open, look at what happens here. So we're going into New York Open. We come down, we sweep the low. I've got an alert set at this low, so immediately I'm going, okay, we're probably going to get ourselves a decent trade if we get a reaction here. We've got a 1 minute fair value gap that I've already marked because I've seen this. My alert's been triggered. I've seen the 1 minute gap because I've flicked through my time frames and looked and seen, okay, we've got a 1 minute gap. I've seen the sweep, and then I'm looking for a bullish reaction. Next candle, we don't quite get anything there, as you can see. Next candle, absolutely unbelievably insane candle. And then look at my criteria here, what we're looking for. Major sweep of liquidity after CPI. Incredible bullish reaction, huge momentum. I mean, this candle has got like, what is this, almost 100 points? This is like a 100-point candle to the upside. Ridiculously big momentum, huge momentum. Anything over 50 points I would consider huge momentum. You've got not quite a 3 candle pattern V shape, but 4. And I mean, with this momentum would completely sell me here. You've got your inverted fair value gap, as you can see. So there was no way I wasn't taking this. I entered here with about 2 or 3 micros. And as you can see, after this, we're targeting a 1-for-1. This absolutely blasts up to the upside. The next candle, and then the next candle absolutely rips to the upside. And just because of the momentum on this one, I actually traded it a little bit differently to usual. For my first scale, instead of taking half my money off the table here, because I knew that we were going to come and hit these highs, because the momentum was just so insanely big, I decided I would actually trail the first half of my position just behind price action a little bit, maybe like 20 points behind. So I ended up getting about a 2-to-1 on my first scale, somewhere in the region of here. I think we come up and hit the highs, and then we start messing around a little bit. There we go. And then I had my other half of my position. I made about $200-ish on this position so far. And then I decided I'm just going to take another $200 here on this trade in the region of here. I think I made about $450 per account on this trade in the end. But you can see, absolutely perfect trade. This is exactly what you're looking for. You want to see major sweep, huge momentum, bullish reaction, a gap that you can trade, and then you just want to see basically come up and hit the opposing liquidity. It's really, really simple. And then you can see after this, we actually started to mess around quite a lot. And you really want to just be out your position at this point, because you've got no idea where price is going to go after this, generally speaking. With this momentum, you would have expected price to just rip up and continue up through some of this. I was expecting it to come up to here by this reaction, but we didn't actually get it. But that's where you scale out, obviously. And $450 per account is more than enough for me with my consistency rules. So this was an absolutely fantastic trade. And I'll just close out, as always, with the best trade that I've taken recently. And I think the best trade I may have taken ever, to be honest, if I can find it. This was an absolutely banger trade. Amazing, amazing trade. For some reason I can't find it. Where art thou, trade of my dreams? I've literally lost it. I can't find it. Have I gone too far back here? I think I might have gone too... No, I haven't. We're going to find it eventually, guys. I'm promising you we're going to find it. Here we go. I think we're here. Is it here? Why can I not find this trade? I feel like I'm going mad. Okay, here we go. I found it. So, we go up. This is our new week opening. New week opening gap. New day. Blah, blah, blah. New thing. I'll go and mark out all my swing lows as usual. Like I said, I do this every day. It takes like 5 seconds, and I'll just set alerts and wait. And then look at this. This trade is absolutely perfect. Let's get my criteria on the screen again so you can see this really is not that difficult to do. So, I need to find a place to put this. I'm just going to show you this nice and close. So, we're coming up. We've obviously closed the gap here. We're bullish. We get London Open. London Open comes, swings us down to this really obvious swing low of liquidity. Look at this. This is perfect. Major sweep of liquidity. Really bullish reaction. Good momentum. 3 candle pattern V shape with a fair value gap here that I can trade. Absolutely perfect, perfect, perfect inversion. Gonna take this every single time. as you can see, this 3 candle pattern V-shape with this bullish rejection of this low and great momentum. I enter on the inversion targeting 1 for 1. We hit the 1 for 1 here, took this with about 4 micros because the gap is pretty small, so I can actually size bigger, which is nice. Risking $200 as always. We hit the 1 for 1, I take 100 off, I go break even on the rest. And then I'm holding 2 more micros for runners. We get the next impulse in the macro at about 12 o'clock. I trail another runner up here, made about 100, 150 on this. So I'm up about $250, $300 already on the trade. I've got one more runner, and I'm thinking, judging by how we're moving here, we're probably going to come up and hit my high here. And then as you can see, we messed around a bit longer, and then I hold my final runner up into New York Open up here for like a 6 or a 7 to 1. Perfect trade. Absolutely what you want to be looking for. Really just an absolutely textbook trade. Really, probably, honestly, one of the best trades I've ever taken in terms of execution and in terms of how it moved. Ever since we hit this low, we were bullish. Market structure changed bullish, and you can see we had some really good impulse to the upside. So that is it from me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video and got some value from it. As I said, I have been profitable with an 80% win rate over the past few years trading this strategy. Please go and try it for yourself, back test it, get used to it. And if you do want to get alerts and signals for all the trades that I personally take, you can get them down in the description below. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Check back for daily updates, and do get yourself involved down below in the Discord. Thank you.